Jonathan's fiancée Mina had a dear friend named Lucy. Unfortunately, Lucy suffered from sleepwalking. One night, Mina, who was visiting Lucy, did not find her in her bedroom. She realized that Lucy had left the house because of her terrible nighttime sleepwalking. Lucy was near the cemetery, sitting on a bench where they usually liked to talk. Mina was frightened, for there was a kind of dark animal behind Lucy. Mina ran and screamed in horror, "Lucy, Lucy, Lucy!" She did not move, but behind her, two burning red eyes stared directly at Mina. When she reached Lucy, there was nothing there anymore. Only Lucy sleeping, breathing with difficulty, and with her hands on her neck. Her friend slowly woke up. They returned home, and Lucy asked Mina not to tell anyone about that terrible event of that night. Lucy began to deteriorate over time. Professor and specialist Dr. Van Helsing came from Amsterdam to examine and investigate Lucy's strange case. She was very ill and deathly pale. Dr. Van Helsing was one of the most advanced scientists of the time. He decided it would be best to perform a blood transfusion. Lucy's fiancé Arthur was the first donor. The transfusion was a success. However, the next day she was downcast again, with the same strange pallor. So Van Helsing suggested placing garlic flowers around Lucy's neck, which she did not immediately accept. Van Helsing also recommended that she not open the windows or doors of her room during the night. However, that night Lucy's mother did not like the smell of garlic and removed it from her daughter's neck and opened all the windows to wear out the room. Mysteriously at dawn, a terrible wolf appeared in Lucy's room. When Van Helsing arrived the next day, he found Lucy extremely pale and her mother dead. Lucy once again had a terrible wound on her neck. Arthur approached Lucy to kiss her, but Van Helsing signaled him to back off. Lucy insisted, saying, "Arthur, my love, I am so glad you came. Kiss me." But at that moment, Van Helsing pushed Arthur away, separating the couple with force. Lucy's breathing became labored, and then she closed her eyes. Lucy was dead. Some children began to disappear on the outskirts of the city. They appeared with small wounds on their necks. Van Helsing deduced that these wounds were made by Lucy. At night, Van Helsing decided to go to the cemetery where Lucy was buried. When he opened the coffin, he found it empty. Suddenly, a white figure appeared carrying a child. It was Lucy. Her lips were red with blood. Arthur, who was with Dr. Van Helsing, was horrified. Lucy said, "Come with me, my husband." Van Helsing showed her the crucifix, and the woman dropped the child and returned to her grave. Van Helsing said that it was necessary to hit a stake through her heart. Arthur himself would perform this terrible task. Arthur held the stake in his left hand and the hammer in his right. Then Van Helsing began to read the prayer for the dead. The woman writhed with a terrible scream, but Arthur did not falter. The terrible task was finished.